There you go right there, man. Big round of applause.
Yeah.
The song you heard was 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
That freestyle you just heard, I got it off his IG.
Okay.
But I met this man, Heather B, when I went out to the Bay to moderate a panel discussion for the Blue Hour documentary that Rex Life Raj was doing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Get that a round of applause, man. That dude is
shout out to Rex.
Silly talented that man
Shout out
is.
to Rex.
Rex, right? And then I got a chance to meet this man and his beautiful wife Felicia, and I was able to. He was able to give me, pieces and bits of his story.
Okay.
In the first few seconds, I was already connected to him. I knew down the line him and I were going to cross paths again. We were going to reach another crossroads, right? And I'm going to let him tell his story, but we eventually saw each other again, and then we saw each other in New York City.
Okay.
And and for whatever reasons, we were planning something that didn't turn out. The communication was on my part, was a little murky, but I knew that happened for a reason. And I said, listen, don't worry about it. This wasn't the time. We'll be on the West Coast. It'll be even better and greater when we come to the West Coast, because that L.A. sunshine will be on your face. Have the be in a different mood.
You back on that?
No, I'm just saying that L.A. sunshine brings us joy.
Oh, snap.
That light.
Okay, it brings
That's a long story.
It's
a long story,
she got
KB.
flowers, But anyway, so he's here today, man. And one of the things he handed me was a book of affirmations when I was in New York, and I got a chance to read this book. Have the Soul Affirmations, a toolkit for reflection and manifesting the light within. And I'm gonna turn to a page that I'm gonna turn to any page. So I'm just gonna do this and see where I land. Okay, and what I land in one of these affirmations, he says, it is necessary for me to love myself, though my mistakes, if examined correctly, they could be some of my best learning moments. I want to welcome him to the show, Karega Bailey, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, Sway, what's good, King?
Wait, what's up, King?
Yo, we there. We here, yo. We here, man. We here, and we live and direct. I want to name this really quickly, too. We cannot have a collective experience with Soul Affirmations if we aren't all having a copy. So there's a copy for you right there.
Oh, Heather, look at that.
And here's another copy.
There you go,
Thank
Tracy.
you.
It's really how we gonna build this in community, right? But I also just want to say, whatever the situation was around the schedule, it wasn't a schedule.
Yeah.
It wasn't Good News Thursday.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying?
Come on.
So the divine synchronicity, this whole thing, aligned for this day, aligned for this work, aligned for this word. I'm grateful to be here.
Thank you,
Sway in the morning. What's good?
What's good, man?
What's good, man?
Karega, let's introduce you to the audience. If you go online and you look him up, it say he's a social emotional healing practitioner, an award-winning educator, recording artist, MC of the Soul Development Movement. He's nationally renowned as a grief coach and the founding dean of culture of Roses and Concrete Community Schools.
This is all true.
This is all true.
This is all true.
This is all true. Where were you born and where were you reared?
So I'm born in Brooklyn to Jamaican immigrant parents.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Right, and we migrated to Sacramento, and I was reared and loved and invested in by Sacramento, by my family, by my community, and that path is just taking me all around the world. Like once your community invests in you, one, you got a responsibility to pour into your community, but sometimes the pathway to best serve your community is going to take you on the road, and it's going to take you some places to develop some new skills to deposit in your city, to deposit in your place, right? So that road is taking me all over. It's taking me to.
Was that first chapter of your life full of challenge, or was it ideal?
Looking back now, it feels ideal. The challenges were like invitations to my development, my character development. I remember the adversity, but it doesn't scar me in a way that I don't find it to be beautiful. I have more gratitude for how I came up than anything, despite what I experienced. You know what I mean? But that took me to to VA. You know what I'm saying, to further my education. Shout out to Hampton University.
You went to Hampton?
I went to Hampton.
He's a Hampton man.
Nice.
Come
You know
on,
what I'm saying?
man.
Shout out.
That's why you wore the sweater.
You dig what I'm saying? Nah, it's all good though. But after Hampton, that took me to DC, right? And that's where I started teaching. And really, that teaching started in special education. So I was a special education teacher.
Wow.
And my work in special education put me in the intersection of what I call hope and hopelessness. And I didn't like the way school culture was impacting the young people. So that's when I went back and, got my master's and other things and became a dean. So that was, early in the work, what I'm saying, 24, but I'm in Southeast DC, Northeast DC, really getting the critical information about hope. I want to name this too. My students were my first grief mentors.
Your students were your first grief mentors.
How so?
Yeah. The losses they experienced, and this is mostly due to gun violence in D.C., they were losing peers at an alarming rate. And by this time, they already had, the tattoos, the RIP tattoos. They had the Helly Hansen coats or the spider coats with the iron-on mural. So this was like a part of their cultural experience.
Yeah.
And they experienced loss so much that they were the first people to inform me on what that path might look like. The first to explain the nuance of how hard it is to sit still in the building. So I didn't realize they was giving me that insight and that wisdom, right, until 2014. Now I'm still in DC at this time. And it's June 13th, 2024. I get a phone call. I'm in my office. And there's one particular student named Trey who knew what loss looks like, felt like, sound like. He knows the phone call. He saw my body language.
Yeah.
And ushered everybody out my office. And then wrapped his arms around me to stop me from collapsing. And he didn't hear nothing that happened on the phone. He saw my body language. And that was the moment that I got the call that my brother had just been shot. This isn't about the experience of loss only.
Yeah.
I believe it's one of the greatest tragedies we can experience is the missed opportunity to let grief grow us. So it isn't about sadness, it's about the love you find when you experience grief. It is about the abundance of love you find. And it's about the love that nobody knows how to market, nobody knows how to teach about. There is no industry for it. They don't fold towels on your bed and put down rose petals like they do around anniversaries and Valentine's Day, right? Because the way that we perceive the industry or the commercialization of love is like a really low-hanging fruit. However, grief has taught me more about love than romance ever could.
Yeah, but hold on, let that breathe for a second. Get that a round of applause. Grief has taught me more about love than romance ever could.
Ever.
Profound.
Ever. And it's why I love the way I do. It's why I believe in it. It's why I lead with it. It's why I feel so comfortable in my being to pronounce love and really live by that. You know what I'm saying? And it's transformed the way I see a day.
Yeah.
It's transformed the way I see every single day. And I'm even realizing that right now. This isn't like a pre-thought out. I'm realizing that you asked me, was the early part of my life harder? It's informed the love I see every single day. It informs the hope I travel by every single day. So I'm really on the upside of things right now.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
How long did it take, though, after that phone call for you to get on track? Yeah.
That was one of the hardest ones.
Yeah.
Because when you lose somebody to gun violence, it challenges everything you think you know. It challenges every belief. It challenged every positive word I ever spoke to a student. Was it just? Did I understand what they were holding? We don't want just like this generic positivity. Yeah. That don't work from where we from. We need a critically informed hope, somebody who knows how to be in it. And it was challenging because gun violence, I talk about it on records, I talk about it in the music talk. It challenges every single thing around your values, around your virtues. It challenged the way I was able to fully love black people who I've always loved. But like until you've experienced the intersection of harm, then you don't truly understand the power of love, because it is the choosing of love that teaches you the power of love. It isn't the idea of love.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And be it forgiveness. But I want to just say this. We on Sway in the morning.
Come on.
Hey.
And we are talking about love.
Come on.
And we are talking about wellness. We are talking about grief.
Yeah.
And I get to say my brother's name, Kareem Johnson.
Yes.
Do you understand how far this has come?
Yes.
And had I let the circumstances that first entered me, I wrestled with revenge. I remember the fevers that would run through my body. I remember playing with a stoic face, so I'll show no emotion, so nobody knows what I'm thinking, so I can carry out what I'm thinking. I remember all the nuances of how retaliation, like it tries to consume you. It tries to move in. It tries to learn everything about your mood, your brain, and it really tries to like give you a new program. And that, I guess that program is what we call now crashing out or demon time.
Yeah.
It ain't even nothing to play with. It's nothing to even play with when you're really sitting in that position, realizing that everything you thought you loved, everything you thought you stood for is all up for question.
Yeah.
Had I acted on my initial feelings, I wouldn't be here today able to say the name of Kareem Johnson, my big brother.
Yes.
Who loved me dearly, who taught me so much. I wouldn't be able to say this today. And there's a level of joy that I have in being able to carry out his name in such a dignified way.
Yeah.
There's a level of joy that I have being able to carry his story and not him alone, right? You talked more about my experiences.
Yeah.
But it was my experience around grief with my brother that taught me how to choose love.
Karega Bailey is here, man. I want y'all to follow him, too, on social media at Karega, Karega, Bailey, Bailey. I have to bring you into the conversation we were having today that was spawned by something Ice Cube said in an interview that we did with him. He has a song with Be Real on his album called Let's Get Money. And then you know the history. At one point, Ice Cube and Be Real were foes. And they had to, and they said a lot of ugly things about each other in music, and it started growing, and the communities that they represented started, start getting really tense. And Ice Cube talked about forgiveness, right? Forgiveness, you know. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
that's a powerful concept. Forgiveness is, and especially when you're in a place, in a state of mind where that's the opposite of what you want to do. When you was going through that battle with revenge, how important is forgiveness, even when it comes to somebody who hurt someone you love?
There ain't no fast forward to forgiveness.
Yeah,
it's not even worth trying to fast forward. It's unfit for you, unfair to you, and unfair to the process of growth. But forgiveness is it's critically important. But I named too, even in my writing, one of the first people I had to forgive was myself.
Yeah.
That's where my forgiveness started. It didn't start with forgiving the person who caused harm. It didn't start there. It was forgiving myself for the complete experience and the things that I knew that I wanted to grow through. That helped me incrementalize toward forgiveness. Now, I also want to say that I want to be so critically clear, because I want to be more inclusive of the people who are still wrestling, not for the people who overcome. I still work through my feelings with the person that caused harm to my brother.
Yeah.
It is not fully resolved in my mind. I have not reached a horizon of all things make sense. I think that accountability and how somebody wants to atone is also important in the full scope, but the forgiveness releases the contemplation, the energy, really how they occupy your mind. So every day I believe we all got to take inventory of what's occupying love's territory.
Yeah.
And on life's journey, you're going to need as much love as possible. It's a hike. And what I found was I was harboring feelings that were occupying love's territory. So love was the only thing that made me want to put down the feelings that were in its way. So my forgiveness came by way of realizing that love is not coming it's not coming for some of me. It wants all of me. And I'm trying to surrender to love in its greatest capacity. And that is how I incrementally move toward forgiveness.
In his book of Soul Affirmations, Karega Bailey says in one of his affirmations, there is a massive amount of love moving through me, and I am learning to fully surrender to the frequency of love. I cannot stop it, nor am I supposed to. The goal is to become one with love and for love to make me one with the Creator.
And there we have it.
Karega Bailey, man.
And there we have it.
We're going to open up these phone lines.
Got to.
888-742-3345. And this story isn't complete. You know, this is an ongoing journey with him. Yeah. And we're going to come back and talk about some of the things we talked about when we first met. This is a song called Free the God, featuring Johnny Gold and Karega Bailey, Shade 45. Man, we got Karega Bailey here. Johnny Gold's here too, man. What up, what up?
What's happening,
What's happening with you,
What's
man?
good, man?
Pleasure to be here.
Go to the mic.
Get on the mic, brother.
Okay, right here.
Yep.
There you go, man.
Yeah,
Join
it's a pleasure
us.
to be here. Pleasure to be here.
Come
with
on,
y'all.
Gold.
You produced that, Gold?
Yeah, I did that one right there, and the first one.
Yeah.
And me and Karega, we've been locked in since 9/5/95.
What?
Fourth grade.
He's been my best friend since
Wow.
the third grade. I walked
third.
into a new school and seen my brother over there, and then it's been on ever since.
Let's go.
Concert band,
Wow.
marching band, every band. He was center snare, jazz band, 0 period. He couldn't stay away.
Oh, man, I was first clarinet when I was in the band.
Okay.
That's what's up.
That's my
Yeah,
father.
yeah.
Thank you, man. Your
that's
dad
like
was
my
like
dad.
that, too? Yeah.
That's what's saying.
Heather, you play instruments?
Man, listen.
She rap.
I'm just, I'm a walking instrument.
She's
Okay.
the instrument.
Ooh.
That's what we saying. That's what we doing. That's what we doing.
You said I'm a walking instrument. All right, Karega Bailey is here. We're going to take some calls. We
Yeah.
have Jay from Ohio on the line.
Jay, what's good?
Welcome to the show, Jay.
JJJ.
Hey, what's up? What's up, family? What's up, Sway?
What's up, family?
Heather,
What's up,
Tracy?
family?
What up?
Yo,
what up,
Jay.
baby? What's
Come on.
good?
Hey, check out. I love this brothers. I love everything about them, and we need more positivism like that. I definitely want to get that book because sometimes, even I go through like bad days and all of that stuff and hurt and all of that, and just hearing this story and seeing where I'm at right now, everybody need affirmations every day. Everybody need to see that things can be brighter and they will be brighter. You just got to sit back and let it happen, let it manifest. So listening to this brother this morning, I had called before and I Googled him and I want to understand where he's coming from, and then listen to hear him speak. That kind of changed everything and put it in a different perspective to make me understand, why my purpose is here. Because everybody always why you always do this and why you do that? And I do it because it's the right fucking thing to do. It ain't nothing to talk about. If you go to the store and you see somebody struggling and you got a little bit more in your pocket and you can help them out, it only take 2 seconds to forward a great act of kindness. But everybody's stingy, so I don't do that. I see little kids going to the store on their way, going to buy a little candy in the morning. They spend $3 or $4. I got that for you, kids. Go ahead, y'all do good in school. I want y'all to be the best y'all could be, and that's the kind of energy we need every day. This is what I do. So that's why I appreciate this brother, and I appreciate y'all for real.
I appreciate you, King, for real, for real. Thank you for making that conscious choice to put that good in the world, right? It's just it's a continuum of the work, but also thank you for taking time to really tap in. Get the book for sure. We got you.
Where can I get the book?
So the book is available in the link, but you go to Soul Affirmations, right? You go to it's in my bio on
Soul Affirmations.
SOL Affirmations. You can type it anywhere. You could go on my page, look for it on IG, Karega Bailey. You can go to Google. If you just type in Soul Affirmations book, we are the first to pop up. And what you'll also experience is that you can also, when you don't have time, because here's the thing, that book is important, but I didn't want to create a type of media that prioritized which parents had time to read or read to their child. So it's available as an album.
Okay.
Right? So you can actually listen to it and experience it that way. But we really want our people to be well, and me and Felicia had to create tools for our people to be well. We had to center our experience.
Is SOUL an acronym?
Yeah, source of light.
Okay. Jay, you a citizen, man.
Let's wait in the
We
morning.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
Big love, King.
All right, y'all have a good day. Thank y'all.
You too,
One love.
family.
Hey, drop me a line, man.
Karega Bailey.
I will definitely. I got that for you, bro. I need this, and everybody need this. So I'm definitely gonna help you promote it, bro. For real.
That's dope.
Oh, man, I
Wow.
like that,
Deep
man.
gratitude,
Citizen
King.
right there.
That's what you wanted.
Karega Bailey, Bailey. Rogers on the line from D.C. What's
What
your
up,
question,
Roger?
Raj?
Hey, Raj.
Yeah, hey Sway and Heather B and all y'all. So I wanted to make a comment, I guess a statement, not too long. I work for Southeast, helping kids. I don't know if you ever heard of the City Year,
Yeah. very
Karega.
much. Yeah, I'm very much.
Yeah, so I work
it's
City
a
Year.
program. Yeah. It's through
So
American,
in that program, man, we work with the most. I was tasked with working with the kids that had, I guess, basically the special education. They didn't have that in DC though. They have. There's these kids in the class, and they're they're on the cusp, or I guess based on our training, by third grade, if they feel you don't make it, they're creating jails for what they consider is going to be a problem down the line. So they're using third grade test scores. We were there to offset that. So being that they had no special education program.
Yeah.
Yeah, so being that they had no special education program down there, it might be a classroom with 15 kids. 5 of them might need those services, but they're not available. So we were there to target those kids. And, when you said between hope and hopelessness, I understand that, because some of those kids, their circumstances, it's not them. It's the circumstances they're put in. And you can only help so much. And I saw and heard things that, I couldn't even, I can't tell no kid type of stuff they seen that you shouldn't do this or that. I end up having to tell a lot of kids, man, don't get caught. You know what I'm saying? And so, for me, I wanted to ask you, I guess that was just my statement, but I wanted to ask is, like, what does love mean to you, right? Because I've talked to kids that had things happen, and I ain't going to give details of stuff, but very traumatic stuff, man. I can't see how somebody's going to love some of those situations. For example, maybe you home and saw somebody take advantage of your mother.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a very broad word to say love, and it sounds good, but it's harder to really put that into practice with people who really come from things, I mean, even the law has, they'll even spank you, right, if you do too much, right? I mean, love is there, but there's also discipline. There's also, what's the word? I don't want to say violence, but maybe retribution. You come to somebody, you can go to jail. You're going to suffer.
So, Roger, your question is, what does love mean to you, Karega?
Yeah. Well, Roger, I want to make room that the people who have a trouble or a challenge with it, that's who's supposed to be here for this conversation. Now, love is not this idea that makes all things better. Love is the choice you make when you realize only you have control to control the outcome of what's happened. Like, you can have circumstances that you've been subjected to, and that can happen over and over and over and over again. At some point, you'll learn that you do have agency, and only you can be a part of changing that circumstance that you've been subjected to. Love is the pathway through that thing. It's not the easy way. It's one of the hardest things you'll ever have to do. It's not romantic. It's not just beautiful. It's some of the grittiest work, but it's some of the most noble work you could ever choose. Yeah. And nobody is pointing us in the direction of love because no one knows how to quantify it in the schools. But you got to remember, I did several years in the school. So the love that I'm talking about is exactly what made me impactful in the most adverse circumstances. Love is what made me understand where the pistols was hitting outside the school. Love is what made me understand that when they come to school and they might be smelling like dank and they're going to get sent home, but I'm the dean at the door, what do I do to interrupt that? Do I have Clorox wipes? Do I let them wipe their fingers? The fact of the matter is he came to school. And if you understood the circumstances he had to go to just to get there, you'd be less interested in turning him away when he gets there, right? So you have to name these things. And love is a practice. Love isn't a philosophy. It's a daily practice, and it's incremental. And you don't get to just get it all of a sudden. So the reason why so many are discouraged from love is because it's a lifelong work. Or you can handle the lifelong work of things happening to you and being subjected to somebody else's decisions. Or you can dedicate yourself to the lifelong work of the incremental approach to love more abundantly every day.
Thank you for your call, Roger. You're a super citizen.
Yeah, that's why in the
Big
morning.
love to DC.
Absolutely. When I met you, one of the reasons why I was taken aback, because I'm a father, and I have an amazing adult child
Yes.
who's doing extremely well for herself, really beautiful. I learned more about myself since her birth than anything else, any of the other experiences could have taught me. just facing much adversity. But you told me a story that really was heart-wrenching and heartbreaking, and this is part of the reason why you up here today too, is how you went to, because of the grief of this story, because of the loss that you had, the gains that it brought. And so I want to ask you, who is Kamayu Soul?
You did that. You did it. You said,
Yes.
Oh, man.
Let me say it correctly.
Kamayu Soul.
Kamayu Soul.
Oh, my. Man.
Yeah.
We on Sway in the morning.
Yes.
We just said Kareem Johnson and Kamayu Soul. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Man, listen. Kamayu is my baby, my firstborn daughter. September 30th, 2019, my wife and I gave birth to a beautiful, a gorgeous baby girl named Kamayu Soul. We had a 41-week pregnancy filled with joy. My wife was fit, running, going to her trainer. And by this time, we had done all the service, all the things, served our community, been together, starting our family. Mind you, this is my lady. This is my wife, my girlfriend since high school. High school sweetheart. All the things. We give birth and we experience a vastly different outcome than we imagined. And in a sudden, that morning, we became angel parents. Angel parenthood is a term for parents who've experienced the loss of a child. And now I want us to also understand that angel parenthood is not just people who lose neonatal loss or infant loss. Yeah, that language comes. But we also learned, because of the experience of the mothers that we work with. So our work was first around gun violence interruption. And there's a wonderful film actually also called When the Waters Get Deep. And you can find that with Soul Development and KQED and Be Imaginative. And there's another film, Dear Beloved. But I want to name that while we were working with mothers who've experienced the loss of a child to gun violence, we were pregnant. And Felicia's listening to the wisdom of these mothers and the need to keep writing. We never imagined that we would experience a loss during this time. And you suddenly start to realize, I want to name one phenomenon. So Kamayu is so very important. But what Kamayu has given me permission to do is understand the broader scope of love. And I want to name that we have seen a type of care and concern and love given to women who, and I want to name like the neonatal birth experience for Black women, right? It's just so many adverse outcomes. But I want to name that we learned that Felicia's womb hurt in the exact same way of mothers who lost children to gun violence.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whether they were 14, 21, 25, 34, like my brother. The womb hurt in the same place. And it gave me visibility to see all of this, see all of these mothers, and really work on creating the conditions for them to receive the love they deserve and what I call radical gentleness they deserve. Think about an acrobat. Acrobats are incredibly strong, but it's not brute force. It's an act of grace and balance in which every muscle fiber is triggering. I believe that men have the ability to practice that type of strength, different in the force, different in the posturing, different in the blunt. I said what I said. This is what it is. I learned that men have the capability to also display radical gentleness as a form of strength. And it's one of the hardest strengths you'll ever have to develop because it's not by force, right? It's by grace. Kamayu Soul, my firstborn daughter, has birthed me into the understanding of grief as an experience of love. She transformed my life work. She transformed my daily work. She transformed who I am in the world. The moment she was born, I became a father. I was born too. And I had to live out this purpose differently as an angel parent. And it includes creating space everywhere we go, creating conditions everywhere we go. We have a largely griefly illiterate society, y'all.
Yeah.
Our society, grief illiterate.
Yeah.
And it interrupts our ability to love each other deeper. Because grief feels alienating, isolating, and alone, when really it is a global experience in which we all can learn to love more abundantly. So this is the work, and I mean it, and it has been this way since she was born. That Felicia and I, my lovely wife, make some noise for Felicia too.
Come on, Felicia.
Shout out to Felicia.
I'm sorry.
Felicia.
Make some noise for Dr. Felicia.
Okay.
You dig what I'm saying?
Felicia.
That's an earned PhD.
Yes.
Bailey.
Wow.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yes.
Come on, man.
Yes.
Come on, man.
Absolutely.
Because building the black family is incredibly important to me. I want to name it as such, but I want to name it in surrounding our birth experiences.
Yeah.
Right? And we have been able to let that grief grow us, and love has literally become our passport in this world. And it's one of the greatest passports anybody could ever surrender to. And it doesn't work like all the other passports, but it is an assignment-based passport. It is an intention-based passport. It's the one by which strangers are no longer strangers, right? We all in a journey. And Kamayu has shifted the way I see the world. She shifted the way I see myself.
Yeah.
She shifted the way we tell story. When Be Imaginative, big ups to Be Imaginative and Soul Development. When we were doing this work and have continued to do this work, because as you all see, my brother in 2014 put me in the gun violence interruption space. We never imagined that we would be angel parents and take a different approach to how we hold this space.
Yeah.
I remember being so intimidated by the mothers who lost children to gun violence. Even my own mother, there's not much you can say. And that's because it isn't in words. It's in action. It is service. It is being with. It is being present for.
Yeah.
Your words can't change it.
Yeah.
They don't take the sting away. Oftentimes, your words land vastly different than where you thought they were going to land. And that's why we start to stay away from people in grief, because we don't know what to say. You don't have to stay away. It's less words.
True.
And it's more action. And sometimes the action is just coming to sit with you and check on you. Don't say nothing. Bring a meal. Whether they eat it now because they don't have an appetite,
Bring the meal.
or they eat it later. Bring that meal and set it down. It's going to come in handy. They just don't have the appetite because of the overwhelming sensation of grief. But there's ways we can just show up. And it's not just a meal, but it's the way we show up, and it's not words.
You are a beautiful soul. You truly, truly are. I'm so grateful for your presence here and for these words of hope that you can give to our listeners who oftentimes are in a hopeless place. That's how they feel. I'm interested in knowing, when you speak of grief being a portal to love, to a deeper love, has it lessened your fear around death, your own passing, your own transition? And I love also hearing what folks like you, how you see our life beyond the human experience, the afterlife.
Yeah. You know, you may experience the transition, the passing of a friend, of an elder, of a parent, a grandparent, a cousin, and you love those people and you miss those people. And you're almost like still to a point. But then life starts giving you what life gives you for the day. And somewhere in that assignment somewhere in that journey you find your assignment. And you begin to remember what life feels like, and in some cases joy, or just like the zeal you have for living. And I can honestly say that I have loved several people who have transitioned. But no loss I've ever endured impacted me the way seeing my firstborn daughter. And I think about all these different dimensions of, for me, I'm thinking in masculinity, right? So, I've heard brothers say, man, look, to protect my family, if I got to sit down, I got to sit down, right? If somebody's coming in your way, you got to harm, and there's harm pending, and the courts don't rule in your favor, you will consider yourself noble to have defended your family and take whatever consequences that are consistent with defending your family. For me, the only way to get to my daughter again is to live a life of purpose. And when this part is over, I believe some of the best that I can't imagine. So I can't, it's not in my imagination.
Right.
I don't have a thought about it. I don't have an imagination about it. It is larger than anything I can construct in my mind.
Yeah.
And the reason why I know it's larger than anything I can construct in my mind, because the days that I've continued to live since the passing of my brother, since the passing of my daughter, have been greater than anything I can construct in my mind. The absolute abject heartbreak that I faced, I never thought I would have joy. I never thought I would record another song. I never thought I would smile. Even thinking about being happy felt like guilt.
Yes.
Even the idea of doing something different. In 2014, when my brother passed, the radio was mute for me. No song, no dances. You know, every summer you get like a little dance craze. I had no dances, bro. None. No moves. I don't want to hear nothing. And I don't want to hear nothing about nobody glorifying how easy it is to shoot a gun, to shoot somebody. Like when you romanticize it, I'm like, you don't know shit about it. You don't know how this really feel, right? Because I hear you. You sound romantic. You sound. Yeah. It sounds like another. You're just playing with words. Do you know how it sting? Right? Do you know what it's like to sit up at night? Do you know what the cold sweats feel like? Do you know what the terror feels like? Do you know what it feels like to lose every sensation of goodness? I mean, it's bitter. It's bitter. So when they write these songs, I don't even believe them because it don't even taste bitter. It tastes sweet. Everything about it is just commercially reformed, and it don't feel real to me. So with that being said, for me, being with y'all today, is greater than anything my mind could construct on September 30th, 2019. When I was in that hallway, when I had to walk out the hospital to get the car to retrieve my wife, and then realize I'm going to be pushing her out with no baby, there ain't nothing that made me think I would have this joy. I didn't know I would be happy again. So if just these few years of life that we see and we know have exceeded anything my mind can construct, then I know this for sure. What awaits me is greater than anything my mind can construct. And let us remember this. There's always more of our loved ones on the other side than there are here.
Amen.
Always. That is just the way the time is set up.
Period.
Ancestors included. Yeah.
Ancestors included.
Period.
So we really, with that being said, I don't know what comes next. I know I got to live a life of purpose and goodness in order to even get to the next.
I love this conversation. Karega Bailey, man. Give this man a round of applause.
Yeah.
Dr. Felicia Gangloff Bailey.
Come on, baby.
Yep.
Come on, man. Let's say it, man. I got to ask you about Kamali.
The realest.
Sade Soul Bailey.
Hey, Kamali is as alive as they come. That is our second-born daughter, Kamali Sade Soul. She is a huge personality. She makes music with her Goldfather, Johnny Gold, as early as 9 months. As early as 9 months. I remember as soon as she started being able to walk, she started to go to his controls and press. And like she could press it and there was nothing working. Yeah. By the time she was a year, she like, man, plug it in. Like the beat is not.
That's real?
Yeah, that's real. So every time when the family was going through the transition, I found for a way to connect with my brother in a way that we both understand is through music. So with him being in the Bay Area and me being in LA, I would take, days off to just drive up with my studio set up and get with him. And, we start to record and it started to be a good thing. It was therapy for Karega. And it was also, he was in a better place because Kamali was here. But when Kamali, as soon as she came into the studio, I'm talking 9 months, like little baby.
She's real.
She's crawling to every piece of studio equipment, crawling on my desk, on the keyboard. And she's been a part of our music journey, a part of Karega's music journey, and Felicia. and she's just so acclimated to the music right now. She's 3 years old, but she plays the drums, she sings, she knows parts of songs.
Harmonies.
Damn.
Harmonies.
She gets on the stage when they perform.
Give me a mic. Like, stop
she's in
playing. Give me a mic. And if her mic ain't on,
hyena.
she can tell. Yeah. And if her mic ain't on, she can tell because she'll look around and she'll take mine.
Ooh.
Right? So one of these things that's so profound to me is that Kamali is 3 years old. She's an amazing leader, amazing listener. Her personality is so bright. And I didn't know anything about like birth signs, or let me just say this. I didn't know what an Aries is, right? But if anybody like has one as a child, she means everything she says with full intensity. And she's so fiery, and I love it. And being her dad is such an invitation to like learn more, right? Because it teaches to learn twice. But Kamali is one of the brightest shining beings, and not because she's my child. My mom has so many grandchildren. I got 8 brothers and sisters.
Oh my.
Okay,
True
big
Jamaican family.
Doubt me, I said no. I said no. But listen, no. When Kamali came, I remember my mother and my siblings looking at her like, "Yo, but this one different. This one come different." And my mom was telling me this from the very early stages, and so were my brothers and my sisters. So, as unique as it is to be a member of this family, because she has followed Kamayu in birth, she is a supernatural, intuitive child.
Yeah.
She knows exactly who Kamayu is.
I believe that.
She can tell you the difference between her and Kamayu. She'll tell you certain things that we had from Kamayu's time. That's Kamayu's house. That's Kamayu's car. She understands the timeline in a way that I can't explain. And yeah, and then she'll show up like, yeah, when I was a baby.
Yeah.
Right. So this idea, Kamali has restored a level of joy and goodness.
There you go.
And zeal and power and purpose. And I remember this too. One thing about children, they'll keep you going.
Yeah.
So you don't get to just sit still in a feeling.
Not at all.
They keep you going. And that is an invitation into a future, right? To keep going forward, because that's the way they go. So to be her father, and to watch her be, y'all know her. Y'all really, Kamali's really, she got her own people.
Yeah.
She has her own, she don't got her own page because we not doing that. Yeah. But there's people who love Kamali and who defend, and stop defending everything she do, y'all. Y'all can't keep riding for Kamali like that, y'all.
That's
I'm working on trying to get this 3-year-old right, but that's my baby girl.
There you
man.
go, man. I love you sharing that. I'm gonna take one last call before we conclude. I gotta take you to the city of Oakland. Shout out to my cousin Clee and Lord Rab. No Vultures. We got Lord Rab. Cuzzo, what it do, Rab?
Yo.
We got Lord Rab, No Vultures on the line, man.
Yeah.
Rab, what's good, King? Peace, King.
Man, what's happening with you, man? I heard that voice on the radio, man. I said something called me to the car to hear Karega, man, and I had to call in and get this man his props. And I had to say this, man. Karega makes you use your insecurities as a way to make yourself secure, man. Whether that be mental health or the insecurities about our family and what we go through, he really makes it feel real, and he makes it feel relatable, man. So I just wanted to call in and give him his props. What he does in Oakland with the mental health thing, health is the new genre. Mental health is the new genre.
Yeah.
Listen,
Wellness is the new genre. Yeah.
Wellness is the new genre. And he's a super dope MC and a super great father. I had to call in, stay on the line just to say that, man. Shout out to Karega, Soul Development, the wife, everybody, man. Great.
Hey, Rab, listen. Hey, thank you. But I get to talk to you right now on this air, brother. Thank you for the ways that you've shown up consistently over the years. Thank you for the way that you always, big me up whenever you see me, and big up the family. Like, Rab, really, whenever you see me with the family, it's a mandatory stop, right? Checking with the babies. Yeah. And that mean a lot to me. The only men that really come around me is you got to be able to see the family, because this is what I'm about full time. Rab, big love, King. Massive love. You dig what I'm saying? I'm going to come get with you, too. I'm going to come get with you,
Yes,
King.
sir. Yes, sir.
All right,
yes, sir.
That.
Rab, it's good to hear your voice, man.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Rab.
Crazy how you hear from
shout
your
out
family
to everybody.
on your...
Heather B,
Shout out,
Crazy
Sway.
G, Torch,
man, everybody, man. Lonnie
you
Light,
bitter.
who else in the room? Everybody.
Forget.
Love y'all.
Y'all not gonna let me
talking
finish
about
my
love,
sentence?
yo.
I was gonna say. It's funny how you hear from your family on your radio show, but they don't call your phone.
Oh.
I know that's all I was gonna
That's
say.
bitter. That's bitter. That's
Rab, I don't believe it.
a dash
That's all I
of
was gonna
bitter.
say,
Rab, I
man.
don't
That's
believe
it,
it.
man.
You can make a cocktail with them bitters.
Heather, you know something.
I love you, Rab.
You know something. I'm gonna get some more from you because we're gonna work with bro.
We go work with me, man. Hey, Rab, tell Saab, the family, tell everybody I said peace. I'll see you next week in the town, all right?
Okay, cool. Peace.
All right. Lord
Later,
Rab, No
Rab.
Vultures podcast. Make sure you check it out. Karega, this was amazing. And it happened in God's time, right?
God's time.
Right.
I want to name something real quick. Rab is talking about, so for the last 2 years in Oakland, I co-founded something called a Men's Wellness Fellowship. We actually co-went up 3 years. But the Men's Wellness Fellowship, we have another activation coming up December 1st. And we also create a co-ed space. So we do the co-investigating deep on ourselves, and we create a co-ed space. But that fellowship has come because I found out men were carrying way more than they knew how to say.
Yeah.
And sometimes all it takes is being in proximity to somebody who knows how to say something, and you'll say, damn, I feel that.
That's what I feel.
Right?
Yeah.
Nothing's heavier than words you can't express. I don't care how much you bench press, what your 40 time is, what you squat. Nothing is heavier than words you can't express.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the Men's Wellness Fellowship is a space that we created, and big love to the Hugh P. Newton Foundation for giving us a home. And we've been there for, almost 3 years.
Where's it located?
We at 1427 Broadway in Oakland.
Downtown Oakland. And we meet last Tuesday of every month. But this upcoming Tuesday, as it sits so close to the holiday, we're going to just do some service. And the next collaboration is going to be December 1st. And that's going to be a co-ed co-investigation. Okay. You dig what I'm saying? That's amazing.
Because we all got to be well.
We got to be together, man. Karega Bailey can be reached on social media at
Karegabailey. Karega Bailey everywhere, every platform.
What about you, Johnny Gold?
Johnny Gold Official. JONNY Gold Official. Johnny Gold Official.
The first Gold Father.
Yeah,
yeah.